This recording will be a 45-minute guided sitting meditation in the style of mindfulness-based stress reduction, or MBSR. The first thing to consider would be posture. So if you haven't done so already, finding a seat on a cushion or a chair and seeing if you can find a dignified posture where your back is straight but not tight. If you're sitting in a chair, you can rock your hips forward so that the spine is in alignment, because when you sit for long periods of time, this can be helpful. Also, if you're sitting on a cushion, seeing if you can align the spine as well. If sitting on a chair or cushion is too much, or you know that it's going to cause too much pain or suffering, you can also do this lying down or standing up. But if you can, finding a seat on a cushion or a chair. And being aware of breathing. Being aware at the nostrils, or the rising and falling of the belly, of the air coming in and out of the body. Being with the experience of the breath, meaning, what does it feel like? What is the sense? Is it warm, cold, neutral? Is it shallow, deep, or somewhere in between? Being aware of how the in-breath turns into the out-breath, and how the out-breath turns into the in-breath. And it's not so much that we're doing anything with the breath, but more of just being here with it. And you may notice, after not that long, that the mind may wander from the breath, from the breathing. And that's okay, that's the nature of the mind, to wander. It's also something we can be aware of. Okay, the mind has wandered. And without judging yourself for having done that, since it is totally normal and part of the process, coming back to breathing and being with the experience of breathing. Staying close to the experience of breathing itself. What is it? The sense, the feeling. Coming back to each breath with awareness and mindfulness. Being aware that each breath is a new breath. Different from even the last breath and even the next breath. And each breath is the only breath we ever have to bring attention to in this moment. Being with the breath and the breathing process as it's happening in this moment. As it's happening. And this awareness that you are bringing to the breath and the breathing process can be redirected. It can be redirected to sounds. So being aware of sounds as they're occurring, and the breathing will continue, but we're sort of turning the volume down on it and focusing in on or highlighting in awareness sounds. So receiving all of the sounds that may be occurring wherever you are. There may be sounds in the distance, cars or birds or whatever else might be in the distance, and sounds close by, in the room with you if you're in a room. Even as close as the sound of your own breathing. So the awareness that you brought to the breath is the same awareness that you are now bringing to sounds. You're just choosing a different object of mindfulness. And again, there's nothing to be doing with these sounds, more of just being with the sounds as they're occurring. It may be helpful to listen to the sounds as you might listen to a symphony or a waterfall, the sound of a waterfall. When you listen to these things, it's not often that you're trying to do something with them. It's more of you're receiving them in their beauty. The same thing now with whatever sounds are occurring, just receiving them in their beauty. And again, there may be a wandering of the mind into thoughts or emotions, maybe thoughts about the sounds, whether they're pleasant or unpleasant. Maybe even, I don't want to be hearing this sound, or I'm enjoying this sound, I want more of it. but noticing and being aware of those as thoughts, as other than the experience and occurrence of the sound itself, and coming back to the experience of the sound itself. So it's a practice of coming back over and over to the object of awareness or mindfulness, which right now is sound. Practice. And it's simple. It's as simple as, what can you hear right now? But it's not so easy as we might notice when the mind starts to wander. But it is as simple as coming back over and over to the object of mindfulness, to the sounds, and being with them. And if there are no sounds, then the space is between the sounds. And you can again shift the focus of the awareness or the object of mindfulness from sounds, and just as with the breathing, the sounds will continue, but we're just now bringing awareness and mindfulness to the sensations of the body. Being with what is here now in the body. There may be tension or discomfort or comfort or ease. And again, there may be thoughts about these experiences. So maybe I'm feeling comfortable, or I'm not feeling comfortable. I feel tense, or this is relaxing. But noticing those as thoughts and as other than the experience of the body sensations. And staying close to the experience. One way you may find helpful in staying close to the experience is to be with the micro movements in the body. So whether you're sitting or standing, the body may be making very small micro movements to maintain balance. And also the movement in the body as you breathe. In the belly and abdomen, the rising and falling of the shoulders. Points of contact with the chair or floor or cushion. The point where the skin meets the clothing or the air. Inhabiting this body here, now, in this moment. sense of the body as a whole. The entirety of this organism, this thing we call the body. Being with it in its entirety. And that may include thoughts or emotions, maybe feelings of, I'm enjoying this, or I don't want to be doing this, I'm not enjoying this, or some sort of anxiety, or maybe a feeling of, this is pleasant, or maybe a neutral emotional state. And shifting the focus to be on the thoughts themselves. So bringing to the center stage the occurrence of the thoughts, maybe at one point you might have seen these as distractions to the meditation, but what's here? What thoughts are here now? Being with those as well. Whether they're good or bad, or pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. It's just like a watching and awareness of them arise and passing away. Being with the thoughts in the same awareness that you brought to all the other objects of mindfulness. And some thoughts may come and go quickly, some may stick around. And that may include thoughts about the meditation itself. And this is hard, this is stupid, this is wonderful, whatever it is. Doesn't matter. Just being with the occurrence of the thought. So, up to this point, we've chosen different objects of awareness or mindfulness. Breathing, sounds, body, thoughts, emotions. Now making a shift into what is sometimes called choiceless awareness, or just sitting, or do nothing. And you can just rest in awareness itself without choosing an object. Without choosing anything specific. Just being with whatever arises in awareness. Maybe sound, maybe breath, it may be the body, maybe something other. Just being with whatever arises. Resting here in awareness with whatever comes up. even if what comes up is uncomfortable or afflictive. Just being with the experience of what is happening now as you sit here. If at any point you find that you're lost in thoughts or emotions and that you've become consumed in them, so that you've lost this bigger awareness, it may be helpful to choose an object, maybe breath or sounds, or the body sensations, whatever might seem easiest to you, to refocus the awareness, the mindfulness. And you can stay there for a little while, or for the rest of the meditation, or you can come back to choiceless awareness, this not choosing of an object, this being with whatever arises. So if you are resting in some neutral place, you can continue to rest there. And if you are practicing choiceless awareness, you can come back now to some place where it's easy to rest awareness. Maybe the breath, or the palms of the hands, or some other neutral place. taking a moment here to express gratitude to the self for having taken this time. Life can be very busy, and it's not easy to carve out 45 minutes to take care of yourself, which is ultimately what we're doing here. So being thankful towards the self for taking this time. You may wish to even place your hand on your heart as a gesture of thank you. So, in a few moments, we will be ending what might be called the formal meditation practice, where you take this time to sit on a cushion or a chair or stand and practice meditation or mindfulness. But this awareness that you have practiced here during this formal sitting can be brought in daily life to whatever it is you may be doing, including the objects that we explored here. So the breath, the sounds, the sensations in the body, the thoughts, the emotions. These things are with us in our daily life. We actually can't leave home without them. And the awareness, this bigger presence that we brought to each one of these objects, is what we're practicing here in mindfulness-based stress reduction. So maybe one more time, giving thanks to the self for having taken this time to learn about awareness and to give yourself a tool that you can use in your daily life. And it's just bringing this awareness. So this will be the end.